It's true that content will always be the king of the hill in video, no matter how flashy the edit gets. But pairing that great content with snappy, intentional editing is the real magic combo that turns shorts and reels into viral machines. I've personally seen clips explode into hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of views, and it always comes down to that perfect content plus edit chemistry. Today, I'm walking you through my exact approaches, mixing creative strategy with practical editing moves you can steal immediately. I'll also show you exactly how I fold Vizard into this workflow to make everything significantly faster and far less painful overall. The goal here is keeping things super practical so you can implement these techniques right after you finish watching this. These are the proven strategies that I use every single time I post something new. First up, let's look at some simple content formats that just reliably work when you're trying to gain traction online. If you are focusing on shorts or reels, there are basically 3 presentation styles that perform consistently well. Number 1 is the classic how-to, showing people exactly how to accomplish some task or skill. Those always pull in high numbers because viewers come to those videos with a clear intent to learn something specific. The second reliable style is demoing a cool piece of gear, a new gadget, or a helpful software tool because people really love satisfying tactile content. You simply show it, explain what it does, and make a strong case for why it actually matters to the viewer. Style number 3 involves making lists, like 5 things that will change how you edit next week. Lists inherently keep people watching because once a viewer realizes it's a sequence, their brain demands they see the entire set. It's basic psychology, really. People absolutely hate the feeling of missing out on one item from a numbered sequence. Once you lock in your format, you immediately focus on the packaging to make it obvious from the jump. I always make it visually and audibly clear right away that what they are watching is a list or a sequence of steps. Animated text is absolutely perfect for this, so I drop a stylized title or a numbered template right onto the screen. This instantly communicates the structure, compelling viewers to stick around to see all the points revealed. If you're using a standard desktop editor like Premiere or even a great mobile app like CapCut, you can easily find text templates to tweak. However, this is the exact point where a tool like Vizard completely changes the game for list creation. Instead of manually scrubbing through an hour-long recording to find the perfect soundbites that make great list items, Vizard steps in. The AI automatically detects the highlights, analyzes the content, and generates ready-to-post clips based on those key moments. It intelligently pulls the segments where you say the clever line, execute the equipment demo, or make that punchy comparison. This process saves you hours of tedious work and gets your absolute best moments out to the world much faster. For your backgrounds, animated ones look great, but if that feels too distracting, try implementing a very subtle, blurry background instead. The core idea behind this move is pushing the viewer's eye and entire focus onto your key text or the focal object in the foreground. Most major editors have a built-in blur effect you can apply to the underlying clip to achieve this separation. If the transition looks too abrupt when the blur kicks in, don't worry because we use keyframes to smooth the effect beautifully. You set one keyframe with 0 blur at the start, move just a few frames forward, and set the second keyframe with your desired blur amount, creating a polished reveal. Now never ever skip adding captions to your short-form content because people are scrolling with the sound off more often than you realize. The great news is that high-quality auto-captions are standard features everywhere now, which is a huge time saver. Even better, Vizard generates all necessary captions automatically as it creates the clips, meaning you never have to transcribe things by hand. It's one of those small, quality-of-life details that viewers truly appreciate, and it keeps your audience locked in for a longer duration. Music is an optional style choice, but I use it frequently to enhance the video's emotional texture and flow. Here is a little trick I use. Pick a track that fits the overall mood, but then deliberately cut the background music right when you say something important, funny, or surprising. That sudden dead silence makes your key sentence land with significantly more impact before you drop the music back in a moment later. Moving on to the really critical stuff, hooking your viewer within that tiny, precious window of the first 5 seconds of a short or reel. That small time frame is the absolute deciding factor on whether someone swipes away instantly or decides to stay and watch the whole thing. My strategy is to make the very first sentence clearly tell the viewer what the short is about, but without giving away the entire answer, a teaser question works wonders. For example, asking something like, "Is this truly the best budget 35mm lens on the market right now?" perfectly sets expectations. Visually, you must pair that opening line with an extremely attention-grabbing text animation that pops off the screen. Do not use your standard, boring auto-captions for that opener. Invest a second in a truly stylized title animation that immediately grabs the eye. Another powerful visual pull I rely on consistently is the subtle use of digital zooms right at the beginning of the clip. A slight inward zoom during the first second or two creates a feeling like you are physically leaning into the viewer to share a secret. In almost any editor, you achieve this by keyframing the scale setting, starting low and ending slightly higher just a few frames later. The timing here is crucial to practice. Closely spaced keyframes equal a fast, punchy zoom, while widely spread ones create a slower reveal. For short-form content, keeping that initial zoom quick and subtle is usually the best way to effectively capture immediate attention. Then there is the concept of sticky text, which is text that intelligently follows a moving object on screen, adding a ton of personality. In editors like CapCut or Premiere, you place the text, use the tracking feature to lock it onto an object, and it will ride along perfectly through the motion. This is fantastic for labeling different parts of a gadget during a demo, or keeping a caption perfectly aligned with a subject that is moving across the frame. Vizard often surfaces the exact moments where motion-based captions or sticky text would be highly effective within the AI-generated clips. Keyframed blur, keyframed zooms, and sticky text are all fast, high-impact moves that elevate production value easily. However, the most efficient editing flow I recommend is a thoughtful blend of AI automation and your own refined human taste. Here is the time-saving workflow that keeps your overall quality incredibly high. Record a single, longer video containing all your teachable moments. Then drop that master file into Vizard and let the AI generate a whole batch of candidate clips for you to review. It efficiently finds the high engagement segments, proposes catchy headlines, and even auto-generates captions and versions optimized for different aspect ratios. From that point, you simply select the clips you love the most and bring them into your preferred editor for the final, crucial top layer touches. This means adding your custom stylish title animation, carefully timing that music dip, setting the precision of the zoom, or perfecting the blur to focus reveal. This hybrid approach is dramatically faster than trying to edit every piece manually from scratch and yields better results than relying on pure automation alone. Now, to be honest about other popular tools out there, CapCut is fantastic for hands-on editing and it's free, but you still have to manually hunt through all your source footage. Descript is brilliant for transcript-based editing, but its options for deep visual polish are generally more limited than dedicated editors. Furthermore, some creators find the subscription costs for certain all-in-one transcription editors to be quite pricey for their budget. Other single-purpose auto-editors are good at chopping clips into pieces, but they rarely provide a complete pipeline covering planning and scheduling. Vizard aims to fix that gap by combining that smart clip generation with a built-in content calendar and auto-scheduling functionality. Instead of manually exporting a dozen different clips and then laboriously uploading them one by one to Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, Vizard handles the cross-platform formatting. It can schedule those clips according to a consistent posting cadence you personally set, which is a massive accelerator for creators trying to scale their output. I absolutely do not want this to sound like a paid advertisement, so here is the practical downside of leaning too hard on any single tool, including AI. Automatic systems are inherently not perfect, and they can sometimes miss subtle context, or even chop the energy right out of a punchy line. They might also mislabel a clip's core topic, which is why you must treat the AI as a smart assistant, not as a replacement for your brain. Use Vizard to dramatically accelerate the discovery phase and handle the heavy lifting of the initial cut, but always do the final taste check yourself. You need to add that custom animated opener, time that zoom perfectly, and ensure the captions flow naturally to convert a good clip into a truly viral one. Some more specific habits that always help in the final editing process involve leading every single clip with a strong hook, no exceptions. Also, make sure you vary your shot sizes so you always have a tight close-up available to cut to when you need to emphasize a specific spoken word or gesture. Don't be afraid to be slightly repetitive with your key points if the short clip is less than a minute long, as reinforcement works well in short form. Remember that well-timed drops and intentional pauses are always your best friends because silence, used correctly, is a powerful editing tool. Finally, you must consistently test different formats because sometimes a quick 30-second digest simply outperforms a more in-depth 60-second deep dive depending on the platform. When it comes to measuring what actually works, you have to dive into your analytics and see what the data is telling you. Vizard provides a quick, centralized sense of which specific clips are generating the most positive engagement signals from your audience. From that data, you'll start spotting clear patterns. Certain story structures, specific thumbnail styles, or particular first-line hooks will consistently outperform the rest. Once you see the pattern, the instruction is simple. Double down hard on those proven winners in your next batch of content. If you are using a mix of other editors, you have to gather that engagement data manually across every single platform, which is another place Vizard saves you significant time. I want to leave you with this final thought. Editing is a massive multiplier for your effort, but it is absolutely not a magic wand. You can never polish a fundamentally boring or weak idea into something truly compelling that people want to share widely. But when you have something genuinely interesting to say and you apply focused editing, strong hook, visual motion, music cuts, captions, and a clean structure, you dramatically increase your odds of capturing attention. This is where tools like Vizard become indispensable because they make it feasible to scale that entire high-quality process across dozens of long videos simultaneously. You can transform one hour-long podcast or stream into an entire library of ready-to-post, platform-optimized shorts that can be published automatically. So my final advice is to commit to practicing the craft, experimenting with all these new techniques, and leveraging AI tools to surface your best content faster. If you master both sides, the core content and the intentional editing craft, you will inherently be way ahead of creators who only focus on one or the other. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see a full behind-the-scenes workflow of how I turn 1 hour of footage into 10 ready-to-post shorts using Vizard, I will drop that next time. That next video will give you a full, screen-recorded look at the entire pipeline from start to finish. Before we close out, let's revisit the power of the blur-in transition for emphasizing text reveals. Remember to adjust the keyframe timing precisely to match the beat of your voiceover when the text appears. For sticky text, practice tracking on a simple, high-contrast object first to build your muscle memory for smoother following. When reviewing AI-generated clips, always listen for the energy level to ensure the highlight truly represents the intended tone. Don't just accept the first headline the AI proposes, treat it as a starting point for your own creative brainstorming. A strong hook sentence should create an immediate curiosity gap that only watching further can close. Varying your background music volume by dropping it low underneath a demonstration is another subtle way to maintain engagement. Think of your short clips as a sequence of perfectly wrapped GIFs, each one containing a valuable piece of information. Always check the exported clip on a real mobile device to see how the captions and text look in a true vertical view. Sometimes a very quick, almost imperceptible digital zoom can enhance the feeling of importance on a single spoken word. Regarding analytics, focus first on watch time percentage, as that tells you how sticky your actual content is. If a certain format consistently yields a 60% watch time, that format deserves more of your energy immediately. CapCut is fantastic for beginners because its interface guides you through the manual process of layering and trimming effectively. Descript shines when your primary value proposition is conveying information that lives entirely within the spoken word. The real value of Vizard is consolidating the initial tedious clip extraction across your entire content library at once. Imagine feeding it a month's worth of streams and getting all your potential shorts delivered in one morning session. That frees up your creative energy to focus only on the strategic, high-leverage tasks like title design and final pacing. A quick edit tip: use a slightly brighter color grade on your highlight clips to make them visually stand out from the rest of the footage. If you are doing a demo, try to use a clean, well-lit surface so the automated tools can better isolate the object you are showcasing. Never underestimate the power of negative space in your visuals to let your on-screen text breathe and maintain clarity. When testing list formats, try one with just text overlays and another with physical B-roll for each item to see which resonates more. Always ensure your music choice doesn't clash with the emotional tone you are trying to convey with the voiceover. A surprising number of creators post videos where the music is slightly too loud for comfortable listening on phone speakers. The goal of the first 5 seconds is not to educate, but purely to earn the next 5 seconds of the viewer's attention. Use a longer pause before your big reveal line to build anticipation just before you cut the music. When tracking text, if the object is moving very fast, break the motion into 2 or 3 overlapping tracking segments for better adherence. Keyframing your volume automation alongside your music cuts adds another layer of professional polish to the final sound design. Remember, editing is the art of guiding attention, and every visual choice should serve that singular purpose. If a clip feels slow, it's usually because the visuals aren't changing or moving fast enough to match the speaking pace. Check your aspect ratio crops, especially on AI-generated content, to make sure no crucial part of the frame is being cut off awkwardly. The hybrid model ensures your content remains authentic while leveraging technology for scale and speed. Think of the AI as your tireless intern who can do the first pass of a massive organizational task overnight. Your role as the editor and creator is to be the discerning director who approves the final artistic choices. Every time you consciously apply one of these techniques, you are building a library of skills that compounds over time. Test a silent hook, just a shocking visual with a big text overlay, to see if that can beat your standard spoken hook. Consistency in applying these high-impact micro-edits is what separates good creators from the truly viral ones. Use different styles of text animation for different points within a single list to keep the visual experience fresh. Finally, always make sure your call to action, even if it's just follow for more tips, is clearly visible at the very end. See you in the next video where we break down that full Vizard workflow step by step.